Ah, hello there. Alright, let's get on to some rather basic, but also rather mundane tips and tricks. Now, you're probably viewing this because you're new to the whole glitch writing shenanigans, and you just want to learn some of the ins and outs, which there's no shame in that. So, alright, enough talking. Let's get on to it to talk some more. Alright, first tip of the day. I would highly recommend either going into first person or enabling shift lock while glitch writing. The latter of which can be activated by pressing either escape or going to the top left corner, pressing the Roblox icon, going into settings, and of course switching shift lock on. Then, as the name would suggest, click on shift to enable it. Woo! Now, why would I recommend this? Well, let's look at the typical turning speed of a transportation gear. Yeah, it's pretty slow. It's definitely not going to be turning quarters real quick. Now, there's probably some transportation gears that I haven't modified that can turn quicker, but even then they probably would be janky and still wouldn't be as fast as what I'm about to show you. Let's get on to that. I'll be showing you the power of first person and shift lock. Obviously I'll do them separately. Yeah, pretty quick, huh? and and there's also another reason you would want to do that, and that's when you're not using shift lock or first person. If you bump into something like a wall, like that one, heck, I've even seen it sometimes happen on one stud high bricks before, or parts I should say. Sometimes it'll actually deflect your transportation gear in the opposite direction. So I'm definitely telling you this just so you can have more consistency to your glitch writing, because that gets annoying rather quickly. Alright, now let's get on to just jump cooldowns. Another very simple and mundane tip. Now, I'm not sure if this applies to all unmodified transportation gears, but based on a few that I dissected before, the typical jump cooldowns 1.9 seconds, basically 2 seconds. So keep that in mind mentally and just mentally space out your stuff. So that way you can always have a jump to rely on when you need it. Or heck, sometimes if you're in a really tough situation, you can just try maneuvering around a little so you can buy yourself a little bit extra time to build up that jump. But speaking of jumps, how about I teach you the most simplest trick of them all as a little bonus, I guess. Now this trick pretty much embodies glitch writing, so do pay attention. Despite it being simple, it's a very important trick. And that would be the basic big jump. Here, let me get into a more proper position here. Now, how is this trick done? Well, basically, see that bump over there? Can bump. We just go fast, bump into it, then press spacebar at the same time, which will allow us to get us a bigger jump. Now let's try that without spacebar. Not as effective. However, there's two things I should let you know. Sometimes, even without pressing spacebar, you can get a rather high heights. I'm not exactly sure what the requirements are for that, but I typically seen it being done on like people bumping into walls such as this, and it's sometimes working. Or heck, sometimes on just small stuff like that, but they're not really consistent, at least compared to the trick I'm showing you. So I highly recommend just sticking to what I taught you there, so you're not just relying on lady luck. And also there are some gears that don't really benefit from this trick. Typically those that I will refer to as the new version type of transportation gears, which are basically gears nowadays that I would assume. Now, I don't know my history on different versions, but I do know this. Most gears on the catalog nowadays kind of have this new script to them, which is much different from what was there previously in the beginning. So let's take for example this cardboard motorcycle. I forgot the initials too. Let's let it get up to speed first. Now watch as I try the same trick with this guy. I lose my jump. I lose the height I would have gained. However, this does do fine without spacebar. But yeah, as you can tell, that trick I show you doesn't work on them all. Typically, it just works on stuff like the Roblox 8 bike, Mike's bike, though it's definitely much better when you have Slate Skin Potion, but we'll get into that later. And of course, these guys, which are older, have older scripts in them that still, allow this to happen. But unfortunately nowadays they've kind of been butchered, so they're now basically this guy too, so keep that in mind. Alright, next tip. While it's more of an unintentional mobility kind of tip, there are places that still have gears, such as this line around, where their scripts haven't been tampered with, like their modern versions are nowadays. But I highly recommend using the DGR, which is that one I keep showing you, DVR and RTC. Now, there's some reskins of these guys, but let's just stick with what's shown to us presently. The reason why I recommend them is because you really don't have to think much with them. They're just very simple. They're simple, you can do a lot of tricks on them and still move around really efficiently. Yeah, it's just really good for beginners, in my opinion. But however, good luck finding them out in the wild, because they're practically an endangered species. But gears like the Roblox 8 bike and of course gears like that cardboard motorcycle I show you they require a bit more know-how to them, mostly because they have like drifting properties to them and probably a bit more technical stuff that I'm just gonna gloss over, or well, not mention. but you get the idea. Yeah, stick with this guy, learn the ins and outs of him before you like move on to something like this guy here. My favorite. Alright, let's see. Anything else that I should tell you about? Oh, yeah, I think that'll do it for today. Well, I say today even though I may just do another video for today on this, so we'll see. So yeah, let me know if you have any more questions, and apologies if my voice sounds like that of a massive faggot, as one person put it bluntly. It's just, I'm not much of a social person. Alright, see you in the next one. Have a good day.